It's been nearly a year of silence from Amanda Palmer, Neil Gaiman's ex-wife, as he's been hit and rocked with allegation after allegation. And now she actually is involved in a human trafficking lawsuit where she's named, as well as Gaiman. And she took to Instagram finally to respond yesterday to the allegations and claimed she's not involved. Now, what's interesting is she didn't say Neil Gaiman wasn't involved. And reading into the end of this, it's pretty interesting to see maybe she's throwing him under the bus and just saying, nope, that's all him. This could be a possibility here. The way she phrased it's very, very weird. And we're going to get into this news in just a moment. Hit the like and subscribe button as we talk about all things in the culture, especially when it appeals to science fiction and fantasy. Neil Gaiman was a big author in those realms. I think he was kind of propped up artificially, but that's another story. I am a independent author, meanwhile, making my own good books that you're going to absolutely love. Check this out. It's called The Stars Entwined. It's the beginning of the Oration War. It's a 3-book series about a human spy who embeds himself on an alien starship to bring back information to humanity during the middle of a war against a very mysterious species. It's a lot of fun. It builds up huge over the 3 books, and you're going to love this. Grab all 3 on Amazon today. It's available on ebook, print, and audio for you. Thank you so much for being here. So Amanda Palmer has been oddly silent about Neil Gaiman allegations. Even Scarlett Pavlovich's account of their meeting definitely involves her. Now she's broken the silence and denies any wrongdoing on her Instagram account. Last week, Neil Gaiman and Amanda Palmer were hit with human trafficking charges, as the sex allegations with Gaiman has been picking up with more details being released. Gaiman's been accused, if you don't know, of sexual conduct by a lot of women, the first 2 starting with The Tortoise Podcast, an investigative journalist outlet named for the tortoise and hare fable, leading towards slow and steady wins the race. They are known for doing deep dives on situations, gathering all the information to ensure accuracy before reporting. During the first round of their podcast on Gaiman, they revealed 2 women accused the American Gods author of sexual assault. One who was his granddaughter's age, acting as babysitter nanny of their child at the time. Neil Gaiman responded by saying he only cuddled in a bathtub with her, making the situation sound suspicious. The details all came out about this in New York Magazine a few weeks back. The woman actually got interviewed, and it was just horrific. I'm not going to recount those details because they're just disgusting. Now, you got to remember, this was a homeless woman that Amanda Palmer picked up, and she was a fan of Amanda Palmer. Amanda Palmer started bringing her around, and then Amanda Palmer brought her to the house where she was with Gaiman alone for hours. Very weird. There was a second situation that was detailed in these accounts where a fan of Amanda Palmer was engaging with sexual acts with her, and that she had an open marriage with Neil Gaiman. Amanda Palmer started snapping pictures of her and then sending those pictures to Gaiman, and allegedly told the woman that Gaiman would really like her, eventually sent her out to Gaiman. It's a very weird situation here. Now, there's a bunch of other creepy situations involving Gaiman here, but these 2 right here just sound like, she's procuring a little bit for him, and that's kind of what she's being accused of in this human trafficking sort of situation. Now, the reason it's counted as human trafficking is because this woman who was supposed to be their nanny, and Amanda Palmer said that she was going to be there to be her nanny as she's, having weird sexual acts done to her and the like, was never paid during this whole situation. It took months and months afterwards to get her paid. And she got a payment in the form of like a hush money to try to shut her up about this whole situation. She's not the only one. Tortoise Podcast confirmed that 3 different women actually had hush money paid by the Gaimans. So pretty interesting stuff right here as this rolls along, just to set up this whole scenario. Reminds me a lot of Jeffrey Epstein, doesn't it, guys? You've got this Maxwell woman, right, who's going around procuring these young girls, bringing them to the island and the like, and it looks like this is very similar with Gaiman. Now, nothing's underaged has been happening yet on this front. We haven't seen anything on that level yet. But we did see a weird post from Amanda Palmer to Patreon when this first broke last year during the summer. She posted to her Patreon a picture of a trash can with the Lolita book on top of it. Now, if you don't know Lolita is all about a creepy obsession of a guy who's sexualizing an underage girl and molesting her. Very, very weird that she would post that right after the Gaiman allegations came out with no context, nothing else to it, right? And on a trash can, meaning hey, it's getting thrown in the trash. She also posted some video with some weird song lyrics that looked like it was all about, Gaiman talking, bad about him and the like. Very odd. And that's all she said. She's been completely silent on this otherwise, just completely out of it. And I think she tried to just distance herself from it because remember, these 2 did get divorced in like 2021 and she just bailed at that point. So all this stuff has been happening over the years, and she probably had enough of it and kind of went away. Now, that doesn't mean she wasn't actually doing any of this stuff before. She very well might have been, and this may well be a human trafficking situation. The lawsuit is open, and it does look very, very suspicious and bad at this point. We'll see how it starts to unfold, and of course, we'll cover it all here on the channel as it does unfold. Now, she's finally responded, as I said, through months and months of silence, and actually posted to Instagram the other night. You can see there's no comments. She actually turned off comments on the post so nobody can comment, and that's never a good sign. She says, I thank you all deeply for continuing to respect my recent request for privacy as I navigate this extremely difficult moment. Now, this is interesting. They always do this. They're very public people. Now, I've read accounts that Amanda Palmer and Neil Gaiman like to have weird parties, like sex parties, where Amanda Palmer would strip naked and she'd actually force the guests to sign her naked body, like as a show of power and dominance over people. Very weird stuff these people are engaged in, and yet now, and of course they've been flaunting themselves like that all over the globe for 20 years. And now all of a sudden they pretend like they're private people. This is exactly what Neil Gaiman kind of said in his PR press release as well, that he's always been a very private person. It's a complete lie. Neil Gaiman's one of the most shameless public promoters out there who makes every element of his life very public. They've been talking about their open marriage for years and the like. And now they're trying to pretend like this privacy thing's a matter to them. She says, I must protect my young child and his right to privacy. Now remember, in these situations as it came out, the young child was in the room a lot of the time while Neil Gaiman was enacting this kind of stuff, which is kind of creepy and very sad for the child to be in this situation. And I don't want anybody to bother the child, of course, and I don't think anybody is. It doesn't have anything much to do with the child. It does have everything to do with these creepy people, right? And maybe the child needs to be protected away from them, to be honest, right? If this is a big situation, what's going on with that level? Very weird statement here, and trying to garner sympathy and play victim when she's not the victim here. She was the one bringing, at least by two women's accounts, bringing two women to Neil Gaiman. There may be more, and we don't know anything beyond that because she hasn't commented on that, but that's their account of things. As with my priority, I will not respond to specific allegations being made against me, except to say that I deny the allegations and will respond in due course. So she's denying any allegations made against her, that she did anything wrong, and she won't respond to anything specific. Very weird here. But she says against me, right? She doesn't say against me and Neil, or me and my husband, me and my ex-husband. This is where I start to read into this and I go, very interesting. She just talks about her. She talks about her privacy. She says that she denies the allegations against her and she'll respond in due course. And then it gets really weird. My heart goes out to all survivors. So that's interesting. So who are the survivors here? Now, you go back to some of Neil Gaiman's posts. So you remember that famous 2018 post where he says that women are mistreated and they need to be listened to and believed. And he made multiple posts about survivors. And he posted a big picture of him with his hand, with a hashtag on his hand that said he for she. I mean, he was really all in on this stuff too, up until he wasn't. And it's very, very interesting that Amanda Palmer has posted that my heart goes out to all survivors. It could imply that she believes that Neil Gaiman has a lot of survivors in his wake right here. Now, if that's the case, that's a very big deal. And the fact that she's extremely silent on anything else except for her own self and completely distancing herself from Neil Gaiman, not naming him, not talking about him whatsoever, makes my spider senses go off in this situation that, this is a big, big problem. Hey, and maybe she is a victim herself. We don't know because, if he could manipulate a lot of these other people, why not her as well? This is a really, really wild development at this point. She is denying any wrongdoing. Of course, there is still this lawsuit that's open. It is naming both her and Neil Gaiman in the situation and the human trafficking element of it. And we will have a lot more as this comes down the pipeline in the coming months. I'm sure there will be more stories that are going to be coming out regarding these two as well. Seems like they had a horror house of secrets going on for a long, long time. And it's very, very sad to watch for these young women. What do you think about this? Leave a comment down below. Love to hear from you guys. Do you think this is a kind of implication of Neil Gaiman? Do you think my heart goes out to all survivors means something, or am I reading too much into it? Let me know. Hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure to check out some quality science fiction in the stars entwined. Really appreciate you guys for being here and reading. This is a great book series. You're going to love it. I'm writing a new trilogy that's spinning out of this right now. And yes, you're going to be stoked this year as we have awesome new releases for you. Start here, catch up now. Thank you guys for being here.